I'm Jason Urban, and I want to walk through some browser extensions from Checkie.AI and Testers.AI. These extensions are built to help testers do testing faster in browsers, and also for developers from Testers.AI. So they have a virtual test team to help them test the things as they're building it and writing the code. So if you go to coTestPilot.ai, the extensions are up there, and there's going to be a bunch of different cotest pilots. Basically, some of them will fit in the browser, some will fit into plug into like Playwright and Selenium. So if you want a Playwright and Selenium plugin with AI, like a little AI brain inside of those, that's coming soon. There's already prototypes working and running. But if you click on those, the waitlist sign up asks what language and what frameworks you prefer. So that'll help prioritize the order in which they're being built and rolled out. There's also a questionnaire where it asks if you want to help write the code, help work on the extensions and plugins, or if you can test them, help test them. So there's two coTestPilot extensions, one from Testers.ai that's for developers, and another that's from Checkie.AI that's built specifically for tester scenarios. They're different, like it's kind of the same core AI, but there's different scenarios, and we'll see that in a second. So this is the Testers.ai browser extension. This is the coTestPilot browser extension from Testers.ai, and it's specifically designed for developer scenarios. The core idea is that developers are often, they make a little change in HTML or their JavaScript and they need to reload the page. So they're constantly switching between their IDE and code and then running the page to check it to make sure that it still works fine. Particularly interesting about the developer scenario is that you also might want to check, and frequently want to check, only the things that are different. So by default, you can pick one page. It'll pick one page, and you say check it. It'll look for problems in the page, right? And just tell you them. If you pick two pages, like it shows in this demo here, it will compare them against each other, identify what's changed visually different between the pages, and then only check those things or prioritize the checking on those things, because that's what changed. That's what's most likely to be broken, or the new thing that's been added that needs to be checked to make sure it looks good or works, right? So you pick one or two pages, and it keeps track of all those historical pages as you load them up. It just adds them to this list so you can switch and select which one you want to check. And when you click check, it goes off and it basically goes to the AI and says, hey, here's the page. What are these bugs? And there's different types of issues that you can turn on and off. So if you look at the settings here, there's different tester profiles. There's like performance and security and accessibility and design. So you can turn them on or off if you're either noise or you want to focus in on a specific area. By default, they're all just turned on. And then when you click check page, those testers all get a chance to look at the page. And again, it focuses on what's newly changed and different in the page by default, and then gives you a list of issues. You can also have a custom prompt in there that where you can tell it, hey, whatever you want. You can say focus on this thing, or I don't care about these types of issues, or you can say whatever you want to help influence the AI checking process. And right now it says if no issues, make one up. That's just because we're on Google and there's not always like a major issue on that page. So in this case, it found one actually. It doesn't like doesn't like a couple things on the page. But those are things that you can care about as a developer, file them as bugs or just fix them really quick is the idea. And if you don't care, you just go on and then make more changes and then reload the page, open the extension, and it's like having a virtual test team looking at your new changes, your new local changes. It's also worth noting that all those bugs that it finds and issues it finds, you can click copy, or you can export to a JSON file, or you can copy to clipboard. So it's super easy to take those bugs that the AI found, the testing AIs found, and copy paste them into, guess what, Devon or Cursor or one of these apps, and say, hey, fix this problem. And so you can quick twitch, just testers find the bugs, you copy paste them back in your IDE and say fix them, and the AI fixes them. And then you reload it again and see if it fixed the issues or if there's new issues that showed up. So you can be in a constant loop of editing and changing your code, loading the site and seeing if there's bugs, and then just put those bugs back into the IDE super quickly. So you can find and fix bugs as you create them and as you write them, or as the AI writes them. And it is interesting to note too that with generative AI, basically generative AI is turning developers into testers, because the AI does a bunch of the work of generating the code from a prompt, and it does it pretty fast. But the developers aren't writing the code all the time, and they need to check it. They need to debug it, right? So this is trying to help that virtuous loop of the AI generates a bunch of code. It doesn't generate perfect code itself. So you load it up and see what issues there are, and then put those back into the IDE so the AI can fix them in a quick loop. So that's the browser extension from Testers.AI to help developers. This is the browser extension called coTestPilot from Checkie.AI. And what we're seeing here is the flow where you open up the browser extension on the web page. Say you're working developing on the Google homepage, and then you can just click generate tests if you want. And guess what it'll do? It lets you pick from a whole set of different tester profiles. They have different areas of focus. So some are focusing on privacy, security, accessibility, whatever. And then it'll just generate test cases for you. And if those are interesting, you can download them to a file or to a JSON file, or you can just click copy, and it will copy that in your clipboard so you can put it into whatever test tool you're using or editing. So it's a quick way to help testers load up whatever web page they're working on and generate test cases. You also see there's a custom prompt area up there. So you can also add any other instructions you want, right? Like, hey, ignore these types of things, or focus on this particular aspect. You can basically say whatever you want to the AI bot, and it will follow your commands. This is the Checkie.AI browser extension that helps you find bugs in any web page on the internet in real time. So trying to make it super easy. There's a problem. It can be painful to copy paste, screenshots or DOM or whatever, and HTML and code, put them up into ChatGPT. It's a first world problem, but copy all that stuff up there, get the text output, and you have to type all the prompts in and everything. So the idea is basically to short circuit all that and make it kind of auto magic, and basically embarrassingly easy to find bugs. So you go to any web page, you open the browser extension, and say generate bugs. You can pick which tester you want to generate bugs. So you can pick testers that focus on virtual AI testers that focus on accessibility, privacy, security, UI design, anything like that. And again, you can customize them, and then it looks at the page, AI analyzes it, and generates a bunch of bugs. The bugs that are generated can be quickly copy pasted into the clipboard or saved locally as a JSON file. So you can just copy them to Jira or your bug reporting system and or edit. So it's a quick way to find bugs. It should be embarrassingly easy, and you actually find issues on most web pages that are somewhat interesting. And then you get free bugs. So as a tester, what more does a tester want? Is more than a secret way to find a bunch of bugs in the morning and file them so that you can go chill and hang out and get some coffee, and people think you've been working all day. So this is the browser plugin from Checkie.AI called coTestPilot. And cool thing you can do is you can create your own new tester. So here we're creating Jason Arbin tester. We're giving him a photo. We give him a description. He likes to focus on web search testing. He's a testing expert on web searches and the relevance of searches. And then you can go and have that tester. Now, as you've created your new tester, goes into your team of AI testers, and you can ask it to generate test cases or ask it to generate bugs. And yeah, so you can create your own version of you, virtual version of you, just describe yourself. Or interestingly and fun, you can pick famous testers, uh, like people at conferences or whatever, and it will kind of test the way they do, and it will talk and sound like they do. So you can create your own custom testers, as many of them as you want, and they live right in your browser. So your custom testers can help you test any page with just a click.